Welcome and thank you guys for joining our webinar today to talk about Mitel and what's going on there, but more importantly to talk about, we've got three absolute powerhouse technology partners of ours at Amplix here on joining me, and some excellent speakers and friends that we'll make introductions on. So before we jump in introductions with the rest of the panelists, I'll start with myself. Mike Dolloff. I've been with Inflow/Amplix now for over 10 years. Have been able to work with these three technology partners for about that entire time, and as well as with Mitel over that duration. But I lead our account management team and love talking about all things unified communications and contact center. So I'm happy to be on with three gentlemen. So we'll go around the horn and let's go Jeff, Tony, and Jason. Introduce yourselves to the rest of this fine group we've got.
Absolutely, I'll go first. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate the time, and it's great to have everybody on and talk a little Mitel today. So it's good stuff. So my name is Jeffrey Yakubik. I work for RingCentral. I'm the Vice President of Channel Sales for RingCentral. So I go coast to coast. I've been with RingCentral for about a decade now, and love the technology, love what it's done for the world, and really looking forward to just having a great discussion today with everybody around Mitel, unified communications, and some contact center. Thanks, Mike.
Great. Tony.
Thanks, Mike. And thanks to everybody for joining. My name's Tony Poor. I lead our global agent and TSD partner CX programs at 8x8. So that means I focus on helping partners like Amplix guide customers through strategic cloud transitions, especially when it comes to contact center customer experience. That's been my focus. I've been in this space for about 25 years. I've been with 8x8 for a little under 8 years, and I've worked with Mike a ton during that time. So thanks again for having us.
Last but not least, Jason.
Nice to meet you, Jason Gilligan. I am head of business development for Zoom, and actually worked on the Mitel partnership that Zoom has over the last year and a half. I've been in this space for about 20 years, since I started with a video conferencing startup in college. So been at Zoom, joined here during the COVID boom at Zoom. So excited to talk about Mitel today.
Fantastic. Thank you, gentlemen. So yeah, we're going to talk about to level set on a couple things. First is, if this is webinar, and so jump in with any sort of chat Q&A at any point if you've got questions, clarifications. We've got some topics we're gonna go through, but if you want clarity, surface it up and we'll try to address it as we go through this. But to level set on Mitel, so Amplix has been a Mitel partner for 12, 14 years through the ShoreTel acquisition. So we've helped hundreds of clients on that platform, and we still have over a couple hundred clients still on Mitel systems. And let's see, going back a couple of years ago, Mitel made the decision to basically sunset the ShoreTel product and move more into so MyVoice Connect is that product name, and move kind of their effort into MyVoice Business, which is sort of legacy or heritage Mitel Blue, if you will, versus Mitel Orange of ShoreTel. And so we've been educating clients for a number of years of, hey, that product now has kind of a time frame for end of life, and here's what it means. And we're already kind of several milestones into that cycle. So that was sort of the backdrop going back a couple of years on that front. Well, going back now, I don't even know, Jason probably knows better than I, but several months ago now, too, Mitel announced a bankruptcy and sort of some restructuring as well to kind of focus on what they're doing. So suffice it to say, there's a lot of kind of disruption and people going, what's going on with Mitel? And so again, we have the sort of Inflow Amplix has a sort of benefit of we're working with them and we're helping support clients there, but then we also work with a lot of the technology partners where clients are ending up investing and moving to, such as the three companies represented on this call with us. So is that at the backdrop, we're going to kind of talk about like what's going on with that transition, what are people seeing, and how are these three, because I would say these three on this call are three of the really strong players that we've seen a lot of success with our Mitel customers migrating to. Though I won't steal their thunder, but a lot of our Mitel customers had both kind of unified communications, right? So your enterprise users, your extensions, your basic DIDs and hunt groups, all that kind of core kind of enterprise telephony functionality. But they also had contact center in many cases as well. And it just so happens that all of these companies on here all have that same capability too, right? Have that kind of unified communications, meetings, um, fax, SMS, all this stuff, that sort of enterprise plus contact center, right? Where you're talking about now interacting with your clients in more kind of advanced ways. So I think it's a great, there's some great kind of discussions we'll have around it. So that's the backdrop. Without further ado, let's just get all the sales stuff out of the way, right? Which is give us the pitch, guys. I want to hear your pitch for you've got this audience of Mitel customers on. If you're sitting in front of them, which you are right now, you just can't see their faces. Um, what's your pitch to them? And let's go around the horn here. Why don't we start with you, Jason, and then we'll go Jeff and Tony.
Yep. So as I said, we have a strategic partnership with Mitel and have done a lot of work integrating our workplace platform to a number of the Mitel Blue platforms that are out there today, right? So really trying to understand, hey, where are they all along their journey, and what are their end goals? If they're on a Mitel platform that they like today, absolutely stay on it. We allow you to be able to have that and live in the workplace on a day-to-day basis. And then when you go to hit the phone button in Zoom Workplace, it actually launches a call on their existing platform today. So that's kind of where we begin the conversation. If they're on, the Mitel Orange ShoreTel side of things, see where they want to go. Are they happy with the Mitel partnership that they have today and that relationship? And they're going to look to stay there. Hey, absolutely. Go on that migration path and stay with Mitel, and then bring in Zoom over the top of that to go have the full UC suite that Zoom offers on that. That's really the approach that we take on this. Kind of see where they are in that journey and be able to go, be a good partner with Mitel. I mean, there's been a lot of ShoreTel and Mitel customers out there that have been there for years. I've been doing this for 20 years, and I've heard that on-prem PBXs and all these things are dead for I think 19 and a half of those years. So there's a reason that they have them out there, the integrations and things like that. They want to go and continue to leverage, and we fully support that, and then be able to go have our integration with those platforms today.
Thank you, Jason. I pictured, by the way, that like the end is near, but like sort of picture.
Exactly.
But that's been the case forever, right? With some of this stuff. So no doubt. Love it. Okay. So yours is like a can play with sort of approach, as well as can, if somebody wants to move fully onto Zoom. You didn't speak to that, but obviously that's an option as well, right? If somebody's like, hey, I want to fully move.
Yeah. It's absolutely an option to go to the full Zoom suite and be able to support, Zoom Phone as a product line as well today. Absolutely. Zoom Phone, we have a Zoom Phone native product that we have that has 40 countries that we support that. And then we have a provider exchange program with a BYOC that has 55 global carriers on that as well that you're able to extend. And then also be able to do, what we call bring your own PBX and be able to migrate on that. So a lot of different flexible deployment options that we can have with existing PBXs out there that aren't Mitel out there today as well.
That's great. Awesome, Jason. Jeff, pass it to you.
Thanks, Mike. You're right. That sign, "the end is near," has been a sign that's been written over and over again. And I'm sure anybody in the Mitel ShoreTel community understands and knows that. The end is near is true now. To be honest with you, when you look at this holistically, there's a lot of different options out there. You have to do what's right for your business at the end of the day. All of the suppliers on this call offer different slices of that, to be honest with you. But for those of you who don't know RingCentral, 400,000 customers, 44 countries, 34 data centers, quadrant leader, we can go on and on that. I guess when I look at this, the high level and looking at the Mitel relationship, yes, moving can be scary. RingCentral has a proven and time-tested method of working with Mitel customers to unlock features for the cloud communications. You're holding onto your phone every day that's on your desk. We're not asking you to leave that. We're asking you to make that jump to the cloud so you can enjoy the features, functionality, and honestly, a longer tail of development that comes with that, which you're not going to get if you stay on-prem, to be really blunt. Take cover of the fact RingCentral has migrated literally thousands, tens of thousands of seats from the Mitel platform on-prem system to the RingCentral system. We have had a multi-year relationship with Mitel. Several of those years were exclusive only with RingCentral, so we have very close ties with the organization. We've seen the ups and downs along the way with them financially. We've been with them all along the way and continue to work with the Mitel team. And acquisition of Mitel's cloud technology was something we did as RingCentral last year. We're very familiar with the Mitel ShoreTel technology. A lot of those folks with Mitel backgrounds from a technical standpoint are RingCentral badge today. We really can, I can definitely say we understand the needs of a Mitel cloud customer and on-prem and what that technology means. We've really built an entire suite of processes along the way to help leverage our professional services to help you reduce mapping time and transfer scripts and things of that nature. Even from a cost standpoint, we've gone really one step beyond where we've built the hardware bridges, if you will, to allow you to keep your current phone. So if you're sitting on a lot of Mitel 400 series phones today, these are the classic Mitel ShoreTel 400 series phones, you can plug them into the RingCentral system. That is going to save you as a customer a lot of money. 6900 series phones, the same thing. That's mostly US and Canada, to be honest with you. The 6800 series, now we're getting kind of down and dirty on the phones, but understand the fact that working with the Mitel ShoreTel customers and all of you out there, you like your phones. And there's a reason why you've stayed on so long. Some of it is resistance to wanting to transition. Some of that's part of your business process. Just rest assured, we've done this. We're a practiced hand at this, and we're running promotions to help it make it easier, whether it be simple migration, allowing you to keep your phones today into the system, or even just economics of that to make it an easy transition for you as a Mitel customer to RingCentral. So thanks, Mike.
Thank you. Some great nuggets in there, right? And you
Absolutely.
call out something that RingCentral has had a formal partnership. You guys acquired the Mitel MyCloud base of customers and technology. You're just coming up on a year now ago, and
About a year, yeah.
phones
Absolutely.
working together. So again, there's a story of migrating fully. There's bringing some of what you have and love as well. So those are great. Hope some people caught some of those great nuggets from Jason and Jeff and Tony. Last but not least, give the pitch. What's the 8x8 story for Mitel customers?
Yeah. So here's the reality. Staying on Mitel is not a neutral decision. It's a risk. The platform is in decline. R&D is frozen. Support is uncertain. And if you're investing time and money into technology that is not evolving, every month that you stay, you are falling further behind, whether it's compliance, customer experience, innovation, whether you choose 8x8 or not. And I hope that you do, but whether it's us or somebody else on the panel, the smart move is to get on a platform that is actively building for your future. Right? We have these conversations with Mitel and ShoreTel. I still call it ShoreTel. It's not Mitel Orange to me. We have these customers all the time with people who've been on the platforms for years. And what we're hearing is we know we need to move. We just don't want to move from one static system to another static system. And that's where 8x8 comes in, right? Because we're not just another UC/CC provider that's in the cloud. We are a platform that's built for what's next. First and foremost, the real win is not just moving off-prem. It's what you unlock when you unify your communications, your contact center, your customer engagement, all into one single ecosystem, right? That's us. It's one platform. It's designed from the ground up to connect every conversation, every team, every customer. Second of all, we bring all those interactions, voice, chat, video, contact center, we bring all that into one single data layer. That means you get visibility, analytics, you get AI that sees the entire picture. You're not just logging calls, you're unlocking insights that can help improve customer experience, streamline your operations, and coach teams in real times. Third, we've built 8x8 to scale globally while we stay locally compliant. So whether you're operating across just a handful of zip codes, or if you're operating across continents, we deliver voice, messaging, and compliance under one SLA with the flexibility to grow as you grow. So what really resonates with Mitel customers is this. You don't just want to catch up, right? You want to modernize and modernize just once and then stay modern. With 8x8, our customers often start out with UC, and then they seamlessly layer in their contact center. They layer in AI-powered coaching, omni-channel messaging, CPaaS integrations. As your needs evolve, you can grow, right? No more tech refresh cycles. It's not once every 9 months when version 10.1 comes out. We're talking about 3, 4, 5 releases a day across the entire platform. And finally, we're not doing this alone. We work side by side with Amplix to ensure that your migration isn't just technically sound. We want to make sure that it's strategically aligned, right? You're not just getting a vendor who throws software over the wall. You're getting a partner that works with you before, during, and long after we go live to ensure that your goals are met. So if you're on Mitel today, the real question is, do you want to replace your phone system? Or do you want to invest in a platform that's going to be ready for whatever your business does next, right? At 8x8, our goal is to help you do that with confidence, clarity, and a partner who's all in on your success.
Bold and spicy. I love it, Tony. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. This is great, and you touched on some really good things that will segue nicely into this next topic here. So hopefully everyone walks away from point one of what some of the why, right, around these three great technology platforms. I want to kind of expand on something Tony just touched on there, which is, a lot of these Mitel and ShoreTel clients in particular are here because this acquisition and sunsetting, right? So ShoreTel was acquired by Mitel. They got to decide, right? We can't invest in every product, and we have finite R&D. Like, where do you invest? And obviously, this is not a challenge for the three on this call, but it is a challenge that Mitel's dealing with, and it's forcing decisions for you. You're on this platform now, and I loved what you said, Tony. You said modernize and stay modern, right? So for all you Mitel customers listening, right? How do you make an investment going forward that is modernizing but keeping you modern as well? So that's the question I want Jeff and Tony and Jason to speak to. Is why is your platform a really strategic choice for their future? How's this future proofing for them? And then I feel like I'd get probably arrested by somebody if I didn't talk about AI at some point. So talk about future proofing and talk about where does AI play in sort of some of that future proofing strategy as well. I think that is absolutely a part of staying modern, right? So Jeff, let's start with you.
No, absolutely. Thanks, Mike. So, a couple of things. RingCentral spends $250 million a year annually on the RingCentral platform. And when you talk about future-proofing, you want to understand what you need right now, but you need to be able to look ahead. So there's some table stakes, to be honest with you. With this spend, RingCentral is putting their money into really 5 basic things. We've got to make sure it's scalable. We've built these multi-tenant networks that are going to grow with you. The way you've built your business, hopefully it's going to grow. You need it to grow. We love to see you grow, and we're building a system to be scalable for you. Again, quality. We're a trusted leader in the UCaaS market. We've been doing it a very long time. Excellent uptime. You need to be able to have something that's carrier grade, and we understand that, and that is part of the DNA of what we have built and will continue to build in the future. Again, redundancy. The world is a crazy place. Things happen all the time. You don't need to spend more than 5 minutes on the news to understand that you need to be redundant. You need to have an understanding of what your backup plan is, and that is something that is built into the RingCentral tenants and core system. And it's got to be secure. Again, you can't spend 5 minutes on the news today and see where things have gone awry. There is good and bad actors in the world. We're talking enterprise, protection with 7 layers of security at RingCentral. That's the system we've built. And again, the future-proofing part of this too is we're allowing true remote work. Whether you're in office or out of office, you're going to be all over the place. You probably have employees that are doing more than they ever have done 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. So we really stay with the mantra, any device, any mode, any location, you've got to stay connected. To be fair from a Mike standpoint, he's right. AI is a thing. Who knew? The reality is we're building this and weaving part of this large R&D spend is really about our RingSense product set. And RingSense is our AI-powered conversational intelligence platform. It automates tasks, analyzes your communication. It's going to improve your sales efficiency. That is some of the blessing of AI. It's also some of the curse because you've got to be able to navigate it. It can be really complicated. And so we've built a tool for sales that generates insights and summary performance measures, really grabbing some of these great nuggets so you can optimize the RingCentral platform for your business specifically. So again, you can work from one trusted platform that's integrated with AI. It's integrated with any CRMs that you probably have today. We have thousands of plugins and APIs that can build. If you're running Salesforce, it works simpatico with Salesforce. We've been doing this a long time with them. You ensure compliance. We've got amazing compliances across healthcare as well as financial and many others. It's comprehensive AI, so you're going to save time, eliminate manual calls and transfers and things of that nature. And really, it achieves broad use cases for your organization. It offers AI-powered support, for your client-facing teams, and really is woven in well with customer service and compliance across your departments. So again, we've gone through the effort so you don't to try to Lego things together. We're putting this in one woven comprehensive system that's fully integrated, trusted globally, and we've really got some, I think, strong price points from an economic standpoint to make this really palatable for your system so you can get that slice of AI. It's meaningful, but it's not going to also wreck you internally from an economic standpoint. So thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Jeff. That's great. And by the way, I was super impressed to learn a couple months ago that you guys have a chief AI officer at RingCentral now,
We do,
and
we
met that
do,
person.
and you know,
Super interesting.
coming of the times as times have gone on, this is part of companies evolving, Mike, and you guys are, Amplix itself. Hats off to you. You guys are at the forefront of AI, and that is part of all of your conversations to make sure that your customer set is getting everything that they need with the the technology that's out there today. So thank you. Good catch.
Love it. Yeah, that's great. And thank you for touching on there's some table stakes stuff in there that I think isn't always table stakes. In this room, it is with you guys, carrier grade security, those things though that I think a lot of Mitel clients might assume everyone has. There's varying degrees of that, right? So I'm glad you touched on those really core elements too.
Do
I
your
think there's
homework. That's my
yeah,
advice. Do your homework. It's
yeah.
really worth it's your business.
Yeah, I just saw a healthcare organization that was, publishing regular updates. This is a large, regional healthcare provider that they've got outages, and they're like, here's temporary numbers for this, for calling in for urgent care, for women and children health, and think of like, yikes, right? Like that's people's health and safety, and they're having to sort of come up with these hodgepodge ways to deal with it. So yeah, you don't want to be in that spot,
Table
obviously, no
stakes
matter what your
matter. They
business
do.
is.
They
Good.
do. Absolutely.
Good. Tony, what do you got?
Yeah. So for a lot of organizations that are coming from the Mitel ShoreTel world, this moment is a real wake-up call, right? You're not just facing the sunsetting of technology. You're realizing that the platform that you trusted for years just really isn't evolving anymore. Or if it is, if you happen to be on one of the platforms that is evolving, there's probably others of you that are on a platform that's not evolving because there's 25 different Mitels, right?
Yep.
And that creates a really important decision point, because now it's not just about what's next. It's about how you avoid being in the same position, right? So we believe the key is don't just choose a cloud provider, choose a platform. Our customers aren't just replacing a phone system, right? They're investing in a foundation that unifies voice, video, messaging, contact center, and APIs, all in one experience, built on a single data layer. That matters because the future isn't siloed. It's connected. It's all real time, and it's driven by real time insights. And that's where 8x8 really stands out. Our focus on innovation isn't just about releasing new features, although we do a lot of that. It's about solving business problems. So our goal is to help businesses like yours simplify operations, reduce vendor sprawl, and unlock new ways to serve customers and employees. And a huge part of that, both today as well as tomorrow, speaking of the future proofing, is AI. And I got to be clear, we're not just layering AI on top of fragmented platforms, right? Because we own the full communication stack, our AI sees the entire conversation journey, from the internal chat that kicks off a service issue, to the voice call with the customer, to the follow-up interaction in the contact center. So this gives us the ability to drive real outcomes, real-time agent coaching and quality monitoring, predictive analytics that can anticipate customer needs, smart self-service with contextual awareness, and even generative AI use cases grounded in your company data, not just a generic model trained on internet content. So here's a practical example, right? So imagine you're a field service company. Customer calls in to report an issue. 8x8's platform recognizes your account number. Based on that, we route the call to the right technician based on job history, language preference, and location. We're not having them key in digits, we just know, right? While the technician is on the way to that site, the customer gets a proactive SMS update. The technician logs their visit with voice notes that automatically update into the CRM. The customer gets a follow-up survey after the job is complete. Here's the kicker. Every single piece of that journey, right? The voice call, the SMS, the dispatch, the CRM update, the feedback, all of that happens within the same platform. That's 8x8. There's no swivel chairs. There's no integrations to maintain. Now AI has the full picture to optimize the next experience. That's not roadmap. That's what we're doing today. We have customers doing that today in the field. So for Mitel customers, our advice is this: don't just move to the cloud because you have to, right? Use this as your moment to modernize with intent. Choose a platform that's not only ready for today's business needs, but it's built to adapt and evolve with you. And that's what 8x8 delivers. And that's why we're really proud to work with Amplix to help our clients make that leap with as much confidence as possible.
Awesome, Tony. It's really good. Some wonderful things in there. I think you talked about. We're gonna dig into this in the next topic too, more that integrations and platform piece. I think that's a huge topic. I love that, and I think modernize with intent, right? Like this is a big decision. How do you make this decision where it serves you and you're not at another fork in the road in 2 years, right? Like this. And for a lot of clients on here too, I know you guys have been on Mitel short tail systems for many, many years, right? And it's served well, but it's unfortunately run its course. That's why I'm asking these tough questions to these guys, because we want to make sure our customers have confidence in these platforms that it's a good long-term play, but that they're not in this spot of, well, I bought something to get modern, and then as soon as I bought it, it's already sort of falling behind. It's not a great, it's
Yeah.
not, these are tough end customer, internal customer impacting changes, even when done really well, right? You're going to have people say, oh, we've got to do this. And that's,
Yeah.
there's risk in that. There's opportunity for sure. And doing it right is important. So,
And I think part of doing that in the cloud, and I think this applies to all of us. One of the things when you do this in the cloud, your release cycle and your ability to get new product feature sets, it goes from like the 4, 5, 6 month release cycle that the on-prem vendors would have to multiple releases a day or a week, features that can impact you, things that you say, hey, I'd love to have this, and 48 hours later, you've got it, right? The cloud can deliver that, right? That wasn't a reality in the on-prem world.
yeah, it was the 6 months, and then it was when you wanted to implement that, and who knows what
Yeah,
other
right.
bugs come along with
And then
that.
upgrade your
People let that
servers
sit for a
and
little while before it's ready, and
yeah.
yeah, that's great. Jason, round us out here on this topic. What, investment, future proofing AI. Where's Zoom at in that?
I mean, obviously, Zoom became a verb during pandemic, and everybody used it for meetings, and that's kind of what it's known for, right? Since I've been here, there's probably two things I hear more than anything else. The first one is you're on mute, and the second one is I didn't know Zoom did that, and that's really where we've gone as a platform. Tony said it as well. It's not just a meetings product anymore. It's a complete platform. And when you start to look at the way that you can go and move from a phone system onto Zoom phone, like what are you actually getting in Zoom Workplace as well, right? How many other things can you go retire when you go move to Zoom and have that cost spend as well? So when you look at all the things that you can replace, right? We've got a docs product. We have got tasks. We've got a contact center. We have all of these different things that are a part of the Zoom platform now that are really just out there and part of the bundle of things that you buy. And we talk about the AI piece of that as well. As Sodi said, we've gone on a similar approach here. It is a single platform that we've built from the ground up, and we have AI across all of those things, right? So when we announced our AI product originally, it did meeting summaries, right? Which was at the time, pretty revolutionary, pretty awesome, and now it's kind of like, oh, that's just a checkbox that everybody has, and it's really changed the way that we've all done business, but it's so much more than that today. And the biggest thing about the AI, especially when you start to talk about Microsoft, which we all compete against, is it's free with Zoom. We're not charging you $30 per user per month to be able to go have that. It's in our bundle offering. We do have a new product where you can have custom AI companion, bring in your own language models and things like that, and your own data. And we have integrated that into a whole host of things out there. So Office 365, Salesforce, Google Drive, Slack, HubSpot are all things that you can go and bring your data into those other platforms into Zoom and AI to be able to go run that. So you look at the speed of innovation, go find out what Zoom is doing today. That's the thing, is like I can't even begin to say like, hey, this is what we're doing, because it changes so much and the speed of innovation is so fast here, right? So when I date myself, I mean, when I started in this video conferencing world, I started with a company called 1-800-VIDEO ON, where you actually had to call in on 800 number to schedule your video conference, right? Mm-hmm. So if you look at the way that has come today with all the things that all these platforms offer, like deep dive into these platforms, see what's right for you. They all offer a lot of different things, and Zoom speed of innovation is out there at the forefront.
That's awesome. Thank you, Jason. That you're on mute, and I didn't know Zoom did that. Those are two things. And you're right. This is part of the challenge, I think, in some regards, Zoom in particular, because of the visibility kind of at a non just enterprise level, right, with the pandemic and need for connectivity through that. But even 8x8 and Ring have had these evolutions and growing as organizations too. If I'm not mistaken, I think Ring started as a eFax, right? Sort of, right? So humble beginnings. And so there was that too, where customers were like, wait, you can do telephony now, right? Wait, you do meetings and you do messaging and wait, you have contact center. So that is 100% part of why we have this conversation, educating clients is not just sort of dial tone, right? Or whatever you perceive meetings only or message only. This is a platform. And it's interesting too, Jason, you talked about on the AI front. Just last week, I was reviewing some of the AI kind of adoption metrics on some of our current Zoom customers, and seeing the ramp month over month of clients adopting some of this is really phenomenal of using some of that AI tech. And hearing some of the stories from clients of where that's transforming the business is really powerful. So, and I know because I know some of those clients and I was part of the sales journey with them, that they didn't go in thinking I'm going to do XYZ with AI. They didn't. They thought, I know I need to modernize, I need to pick the right platform. And now seeing that be fulfilled and hearing some of the stories of, yeah, our sales team does this now, and we have visibility for marketing with this in these other areas is really cool. Because I feel like the promise of don't understand. Sorry, Siri jumped in there. The promise of UC and contact center cloud has always been there, but like I feel like we're really like the end is near. It's like the realization of these benefits is near. It's actually here now, finally, right? Yeah. It's really happening, and so that's super super interesting. And
I
by
feel
the
like
way,
AI was such a buzzword for so long, right? It's just like
yeah,
everybody said, "Oh, we've got AI," right? We're actually seeing practical applications in it now, and it's no longer just like somebody just saying, "Oh yeah, oh yeah, AI is wrapped around all this as well," as to end off your sentence, right? You're seeing practical applications, like you said, that are making meaningful impact and time saving that we didn't see like in meeting summaries, right, previously.
totally. Yep. I know internally, right? My team, there's stuff that they do, right? That they could not live without now because it's evolved how we work with clients and how we serve clients around AI. That wasn't even, we didn't even know that that was possible 2 years ago, right? Or hadn't had a thought of it. Now it's like such a part of the work stream. And a lot of that's unlocked through our applications, right? That we're using. So, great. Let's shift into, we've touched on this a little bit, maybe just a level deeper for each of you on sort of, a lot of these Mitel clients have had this benefit of an integrated UC and contact center. And that's not always the case, right? You've got other worlds where it was like contact center was always sort of integrated. I mean, if you go back in time, dating ourselves a little bit, IVRs used to be like your ACD was one system and your IVR was a different system, right? But then those became more and more like common as one. But then you still have this sort of, sometimes there's UC and then there's a contact center overlay on top of it. So Mitel customers, most of them didn't have that. Like their world is more of these things are tightly integrated. So how do you address that need too, realizing that a lot of these customers do have sort of the business communications and all those needs, enterprise communications, plus the contact center world? And let's go around the horn here. Let's start with Tony, and then we'll go to Jason.
Yeah, super important question. And honestly, it's one of those things that, like, when I interact with Mitel or ShoreTrail customers, that's one of the consistent things they liked about that environment, right? They had a tightly integrated UC and contact center solution, and now they're getting told, hey, you got to rip out and replace it. And that can create anxiety and create real stress, especially if you're used to internal teams, agents, and customer-facing functions all working from the same platform. Now, I used to run sales engineering at Oasis, if you recognize me, but when I had more hair. So I know how much you guys loved your Prairie Fire, your ECC. Those were great products, right? There were limitations because it was cloud-based, but those were great products. And with 8x8, we want to address that head on because our platform was built from day one to unify these products, right? It's unifying UC and CC, not just bolting them together, but make a platform. That means your contact center agents, your front desk, your billing teams, your sales reps, they're all on the same communications platform. It means one app, one dialing plan, one set of admin tools, and most importantly, one view of every single customer interaction. Not only does that make your life easier, right? Because it's easier to manage, it's a better experience for both your team and your customers. Internal users can see agent availability and presence. They can transfer calls intelligently. They can collaborate in real time. Agents can bring in subject matter experts on the fly. The silos disappear, and that leads to faster resolution and higher customer satisfaction. But where we really start to differentiate is what happens when you unify the data, right? Because UC and CC sit on the same platform, all your call recordings, transcript, sentiment data, performance metrics, that all lives in one place. That enables some really, really powerful AI use cases. like real-time coaching, like predictive routing, conversation analytics that span both customer and internal conversations. Right. So let me give you another example. A regional logistics company. They've got a contact center for customer service, but they're also heavily reliant on dispatch teams. They've got warehouse leads, drivers who are constantly mobile. In a Mitel world, everything was technically integrated, but it was pretty rigid, right? It couldn't keep up with how fast the business was changing. If you move to 8x8, we can give you a unified experience. We have agents that can handle the calls and the chats, whatever omni-channel need you have in the contact center. Dispatch is going to use the same platform to communicate via soft phone, via mobile, via decked phones, whatever endpoint you want. When a customer calls in to check on an order, that agent can instantly check on the dispatcher's status. They could even loop them into the conversation or send a message without ever leaving the app. Everything is tracked. Everything is reportable. Now they're using our AI tools to spot repeat issues and coach agents in real time. That's what 8x8 is delivering, not just integrated UC and CC, but a single platform that's agile, intelligent, and designed to evolve with your business. So if you're a Mitel customer who valued that integration, we can match it, we can improve it, and we can future-proof it all in one move. If what I'm describing sounds interesting, or if you've got questions like, hey, do you have these features? Short answer is yes. The longer answer is give Mike a call. Let's talk about what you want to accomplish, because we can deliver that vision and make it a reality.
That's great, Tony. And I appreciate, by the way, the kind shout outs to us on our partnership, because we've done a lot together, and it's awesome. And there's a lot more we can do.
Yeah.
But I think that's such a powerful story of unifying the data. So silos in the client interaction, having those sort of disappear. But then beyond that, right, unifying data for the AI use cases and how powerful that can be for coaching, assist. There's
Yeah.
just so much, right? So
And,
that's well spoken.
and not just marrying the data between UC and CC, right? We're talking about data across our entire platform. It includes CPaaS, but also your CRM platforms, right? Other third-party platforms. We can incorporate that data into the data lake and make a completely unified decision. I imagine the same is true in the Zoom and the Ring world. But if you're looking at one single platform, if you're just looking at UC to make your decisions, or you're just looking at CC to make your decisions and ignoring the rest of the data that's out there, you're making the wrong decision.
That's great. Great insights. Jason, what would you say?
I would say that the only thing scarier than a phone migration is a contact center migration, right? So you're talking about two of the things that probably cause the most stress on a lot of people that are on watching this are these two things, right? So Zoom Phone we've had for about 5 years that has been out there, and before we announced a contact center platform, we have what we call Power Pack, right? So we've had a kind of a contact center light offering for as long as we've had a phone offering, right? So a lot of people that need some sort of call routing and IVR type of thing have been using our Power Pack since they've been using Zoom Phone. So that's a product that has been out there, is time tested, and is very well utilized. We did announce about 2.5 years ago now a full contact center portfolio and product out there, which is AI again wrapped around all of these type of things. When you hear people announce contact center, this is obviously very risky for companies to go move contact centers on what that looks like, and making sure there's no disruption in any of their customer experience. We have had this out there for 2.5 years, and we, in the fall, it would have probably been about the fall, we had our biggest contact center win with 30,000 seats, right? So we talk about, hey, this is a new product. People are very risk averse on these type of things. We're having large enterprise deployments out there utilizing this today. So it isn't just like a little like nice to have. Also, we can do contact center. This is a enterprise grade, ready to go contact center platform out there that's actually being used by the Spanish tax authority out there. So it's not only is it a large enterprise, large deployment, it's a government entity, right? So you check all the boxes on risk aversion on this one. So it's like Tony said, and probably the same as Ring, all these things are built into all of the productivity suites that we have, right? So contact center is integrated into all of Zoom Workplace. So the user flow that they're able to have is able to go from work stack to work stack on a day-to-day basis. So we're seeing a lot of that take place. And then if you look at like the actual market on contact center, people always want to go tout the wins like I did, but I think it's like 80% of contact centers are under like 75 seats or something like that, right? So that's where the majority of that market is, and that's where Zoom has a lot of that SMB business as well that can benefit from the contact center space.
That's great, Jason. I think you prompted a couple thoughts on my end of like, it's fascinating that, like you said, Zoom Phone launched what, 5 to 6 years ago now. You've had Power Pack, which was like Contact Center Lite, and you rolled out sort of ZCC, Zoom Contact Center, sort of more robust enterprise level 2.5 years ago. And the amount of traction I've seen within our customers and just I know in the market more broadly is pretty phenomenal. And I think Zoom has done something too that is a pretty big challenge, which is seeing customers that are making that investment in contact center, seeing Zoom as a contact center company, right? That's the like they are a CX company. Like we're seeing customers see that, and that's a testament, I think, to the messaging and the investment in the product there. And certainly, I think what you guys have all talked about, and Jeff, eager to get your take, but that's having these parts of the tech stack be a platform, there's a lot of advantages there. And these are things that, again, I think a lot of clients just sort of assume everything they're going to look at is going to be like that, but you got to dig deep and understand what does that mean, because you're probably assuming some things that might or might not be there. More broadly in the UC contact center world, they're super critical. And honestly, we see a lot of that world coming together like this, where it is much more of a platform story versus sort of best of breed only on UC and contact center and put them together. So
Absolutely. And Tony didn't mention it, and I didn't mention it either. I'm sure we're probably both on the same page on this. But we do integrate into all of the other contact centers as well, right? You're going to lose some of that end-to-end AI and workflow functionality if that happens, but that's certainly something that we support as well.
It's a great call out. Jeff, what would you add to this discussion on UC and contact center combined?
Absolutely. Every customer's got customers. Everybody's got one more layer, and that is the tip of the spear. And contact center is the very tip of that. So that is your integration point. That is how you live, die, and everything in between with the people who essentially are buying from you on a regular basis, we hope. And so when you look at RingCentral, this integrated, intelligent, connected, it's got to be effortless, but it's got to be one platform. And RingCentral has taken great pains to create a contact center from whole cloth and build that around as Mike said, we were doing faxes before it was cool to do faxes. We did phones before it was cool to do phones. And we have built with and augmented with our customers along the way. And to build a fully integrated contact center is the right thing to do. It is one platform. It's that sheet of glass that you need. It's that one-stop shop. It is that place for you to understand what is going on with your customers at any moment in time. Our ability then together then to integrate the AI side of it around just basic things on the phone side, if you're working on the phone side, which is AI receptionist. If you are on the contact center side, what does your quality management look like? What does the agent assist, the supervisor assist look like? How does your IVA work? Do you have workforce management? Can you feather all that in there into one cohesive platform? That is important. That is something you need, and you need to be looking at very hard when you make that next jump and next decision. Honestly, smart hands, folks at Amplix, are fully up to speed on what RingCentral can offer and that integrated platform. They can turn the wrenches. There's no wrenches in the cloud, but they can turn those virtual wrenches with you and walk down that path and do some of that amazing PS work. I'd like to, you kind of talk about highlighting the good case studies. There's a huge dental company in the heartland of this country, and they're doing about on the RingCentral platform with our RingCX contact center platform. They're taking 1 million inquiries a month right now through our contact center platform. This is there's double from where they were in just chat inquiries, and they're more efficient channel and patient services. So these are the benefits of using an integrated contact center. And then, they saw a 20% increase in AI-initiated callbacks. So you feather in AI on top of that, and you're going to get some of the goodness, some of that really good part of the contact center with some interesting tech that's going to make you more efficient as a business. So when you're looking at it with the business drivers, if you're going to replace your on-prem solution, if you are going to let go of that on-prem solution with Mitel, do it with a single, more reliable integrated system. Make sure your phone system is set pick the right supplier, get a supplier that can do the integrated contact center, but really think about it, because you're talking to your customers on a daily basis, and it's not just a phone call or a chat today. There is a multimodal, variety of ways that you are integrating with your customers on a day, whether it could be on Twitter, it could be, or X, it could be on 5 different social modalities. But RingCentral's got a platform that takes those omni-channels and brings it in into one spot and allows you to manage what's going on in your customer's realm and then act upon it. Lots of data is great. Having the right data is better, and then acting upon it is really your primary concern. So having actionable information, hopefully AI and your contact centers are giving that to you. If you look kind of from a RingCentral agentic AI integrated single system, pre-AI was just rules-based systems. You had phone trees and rigid workflows, and those are the kind of things you lived and died with. Right now we're kind of in a conversational AI system with contact centers, where there's conversational AI workflows where the conversation goes one direction, prompts are given, some limited automation. The next 2 phases are going to be world changing, I believe. So you're talking about generative AI agents. These are like human-like experiences that you want, and RingCentral can provide across these multi-channel interactions. It is industry and domain specific. So if you're in healthcare, it is optimized for healthcare. If you're doing FINRA, financial stuff, it is optimized for financial. And that next phase, which is full agentic AI, these are digital workforces personalized to the person who's on the other side of the phone, human-like interactions, and raising that productivity at the individual's level. So these are things I encourage you to look for. Talk to your Amplix, Amplix rep. They can give you a really great amount of information. Talk to them about RingCentral. We've built an amazing integrated piece of work here from a contact center standpoint that's got your AI, it's got your basics, it's got your workflow, but it really is a complete package for you to integrate with your customers.
Those are great, Jeff. Like, I love the communication I mean, really what all of you are touching on, this theme of like it's a communication customer interaction platform when you're versus just a phone system, right? Or a phone system in a contact center, right? Like, it's much broader than that. There's all these channels, all these touch points, and thinking about it more comprehensively, and why and where AI plays. And then Jeff, I love that you touched on the conversational to generative to agentic sort of journey that tech is on, and frankly, organizations are trying to adopt and adapt, right, over the next several years. And then when we talked about, modernizing and investing in something that will keep you modern, I mean, this is what we're talking about exactly, right? Like, you're gonna be on this journey of AI adoption for years. And like, are you able to grow with that? Is your platform supporting that and growing with you, or is it suddenly become the oh man, we've outgrown this, right, kind of
Kind of
thing
where we
that's
started,
happening?
Mike. It's the future-proofing side of it. Really,
Yeah.
find that right system for your company that is future-proof, that's going to grow with the tech that we've got today. A year from now, we could be talking about something completely, above and beyond even the AI side of it, the way with our visibility now, and that's exciting. But you want to be definitely tethered to an organization, a supplier that can grow with you and is really mindful of the steps, not the step in front of you, but the next 5 steps beyond that.
Yep. Love it. It's only come up one time, this next topic. So shifting out of this kind of UCCC platform into the next, possibly final, I think we're probably run out of time on this, but the elephant in the room, Microsoft and Teams, right? We haven't talked about that yet. Why not? I think Jason brought it up one time, and that seems to be right in a lot of clients. I'm paraphrasing, right? But like, hey, that seems a logical choice for me as a Mitel client, right? Like, we're already using it today. We've got our whatever licensing, and we're using it for collaboration in some of our internal meetings. Shouldn't we just go down that path, right? And obviously we have an advisory role and discuss that options and paths, but obviously I want to hear your guys' answer for that. What's the Microsoft story from your lens, right? We talked a little bit about that on the Mitel side of the equation at the beginning. Talk about it now from a platform with Microsoft. Let's go around the horn with Jason kicking us off, and then Jeff and Tony to round us out. Jason.
Sure. The way that we all know, as you said, Microsoft bundles this stuff, and with whatever licensing they have, and Teams is free, right? Is what we always hear, right? Teams is free like a puppy. Let's be perfectly honest on that, right? It's going to cost you a lot of money in a lot of different ways, right? So when you look at Teams, like, what are you actually needing Teams for? Is kind of how we started that conversation, right? We have a lot of integrations with Microsoft. We understand that Microsoft, as you said, is the elephant in the room. Somebody has it for a reason and paying for it in some way or another, right? What is the way that you're paying for it, and what do you actually need to go have that? And we have different experiences based on what that need is, where you can have Zoom be your collaboration platform to be able to go utilize Word, Excel, and be able to go have that integrated into Zoom. And conversely, if you want to live in that Teams client but utilize Zoom's capabilities, we have that option as well. So if you want to go start at like the client level and where you're going to go live, Zoom has got options for you to be able to go either path on that. I mentioned it earlier with the Copilot reference on $30 per user per month. We're seeing a lot of Microsoft customers living in the Zoom client because the AI is free, right? Being able to go wrap all that around there and then go have their Office 365 integrated into Zoom and be able to go utilize that free offering that we have to be able to go do that. So there's significant cost savings you can go with Zoom on that perspective. We're also seeing a lot more procurement-driven decisions with all the UC buying when you have Microsoft start to unbundle Teams from that core Office 365 environment, especially in EMEA, where they start to have to go actually price line item out what Teams actually costs, right? So we're getting an actual concrete number that free item actually isn't free. You're paying with it in that. So we're starting to see the buying patterns change a little bit as well with Microsoft, and kind of picking and choosing what they need based on their own, I guess, journey, if you will.
Excellent, Jason. I love the Teams is free like a puppy statement. I wrote that down. Do you have a tattoo on your bicep of that? Not yet. Someday.
Yeah.
All right. Let me know if you need to Venmo. I'll help support that. It's a noble cause. I love it. I mean, I think this is great. And you touched on a couple things. There's some shifting. I think there's a shifting theme with this, right? Your story though is, hey, we can play with or we can be separate. There's pros and cons, right? But again, we're sort of like we're Switzerland to this of we can play with or we can be without. So love it. Let's see. I lost my order. Jeff, why don't you go and then Tony will round us out here.
No problem. Thanks, Mike. So look, let's not get ourselves. Microsoft is the largest install of productivity software in the world. I mean, that's not a hard metric to get to. I don't even think we need to really debate that much. The reality, though, is it's you need to look hard at the Teams platform. It's not a bad platform, but there really are some things you need to take under consideration. There is a downtime. There is a downtime issue. That same news feed that's giving you there's bad people in the world. They all seem to like to target Microsoft on a fairly regular basis, from a security standpoint, from an uptime standpoint, whatever it may be. You also really need to consider that there is a cost that comes with Teams, and that is, Teams cost roughly 20+% more than the industry average due to licensing costs and support and training for what you're actually getting for that Teams platform. There are limited analytics that probably should be more robust. I'll talk with my buddies up in Redmond, see if they can get on that, but they seem to be working on Excel and 5 different other things these days. That's okay. The reality is that RingCentral and Teams play well together. We've built the communications. We've actually worked with Microsoft, to be honest with you, in a collaborative standpoint to build bridge code. And we've got a lot of current installs where a customer can reap the benefits of RingCentral, all the good features that really can augment where Teams isn't strong. And Teams, like I said, does a lot of good things, but there are 80+% of customers out there, even just from a raw phone standpoint, go with a third-party telephony package that's outside of Teams for a variety of reasons. And so if you look at these, stack it all up, RingCentral has figured out, look, you might not want to get rid of Teams, and I get that because it might be part of your productivity package that you've got in the house today on 365, but there are a lot of things that productivity package cannot do that RingCentral can do. And so, advanced call controls without leaving Teams. We have integrated call dialers within Teams that exist inside of the actual Teams application. You can click the icon and you get all the benefit of the RingCentral platform all of those amazing features, functionalities, and really be able to reach a second set and a third set of gears that you just cannot get to with some of the basics of Teams today without costing yourself probably an arm and a leg, to be honest with you, or the system might even be working. There can be a lot of downtime. So it is a cooperative, tunitive approach, if you will. Sure, we compete with Teams, but at the end of the day, we also realize that a lot of folks do have Teams out there, and we need to be able to address our customers, hence you, where you're at in your technological journey. Whether that be these your selected productivity tools are not leaving them, but boy, you really need to be able to access a amazing platform that is reliable, consistent, whether it be for phone, whether it be for contact center, but that integration is key. So we're going to meet you where you are on the playing field and help you out and hopefully make you a complete package and a complete benefit for how you've decided to go to market. So if Teams is your approach, RingCentral absolutely can meet you out there and help you out and fill in some of those blanks.
Love it. Thank you, Jeff. And you know, again, you do a great job not running past what should be obvious, but it's not, of like downtime, security, reliability, analytics, costs. These are real things that should be. I think it's sometimes a foregone conclusion from the IT leader of, oh, we just have, and you know, let's actually stop and think about this. That's what we really encourage our clients to really think about this. What makes sense? And let's lay all the options out there. But again, similar to Zoom, and I know 8x8 too, can play separate. We can meet you where you're at. Let's round us out here. Thank you guys. We're going to wrap up right after this. But Tony, you get the final word on this one. What's the team strategy, Microsoft story for 8x8?
I love talking about Teams. And honestly, for a lot of Mitel customers who already use Microsoft Teams for messaging and meetings, it seems like a logical extension, right? You just take that investment, move it into voice, maybe contact center. But as Jason and Jeffrey mentioned, Teams doesn't offer everything, right? It doesn't have the voice infrastructure, doesn't really have the CX tools that customers need, just to name the top level stuff. When we go down farther down the list, there's a lot that's lacking from that platform. And that's where 8x8 comes in, because if you want to keep Teams, great, but we're not going to ask you to replace it. We integrate it with it pretty deeply in 4 key ways. And that can turn your Teams investment into a complete communications and customer engagement platform. Number 1, we offer a certified direct routing solution. So you can use 8x8 as your PSTN provider while keeping Teams as the front-end user interface. You get global voice, enterprise-grade call routing, regulatory compliance, all while everybody stays in Teams. Second option we can give you is Operator Connect, right? For organizations that want a fully Microsoft managed experience, we are also certified in Operator Connect, which means you can select 8x8 as your carrier directly inside the Teams admin center. With same global voice reach, reliability, and support. Next option is the Voice for Teams app. We do offer a phone app. It's an embedded soft phone that's right inside Teams. It gives users call controls, history, voicemail, SMS. So you can add all those features without leaving Microsoft at all. The fourth way that we integrate is with our contact center. So our contact center is certified by Microsoft. It was one of the first contact centers that was certified. As of right now, I believe this is still true. We are the only Operator Connect vendor who has our own certified contact center in the Operator Connect library. The contact center is big, right? We bring those contact center capabilities directly into Teams. Agents can operate in their 8x8 workspace while the rest of the business stays in Teams. Your presence can be synced, transfers are seamless, supervisors have analytics and quality control tools without having to have multiple disconnected systems. And I should point out that our global reliability and reach, that applies with Teams. Our uptimes, our 5 nines uptimes SLA, that applies with Teams. We're also a trusted vendor. I think there's just shy of 600,000 Voice for Teams users on the 8x8 platform today. So I'll paint another quick picture. Let's say you're an insurance provider, right? You've got your adjusters, your underwriters, your support staff, they're all using Teams. But your service center is running on a Mitel PBX or a ShoreTel PBX, right? You've hit a wall. With 8x8, you migrate to cloud voice across the business. You give your agents a best-in-class contact center. Everyone keeps using Teams wherever it makes sense. The customer experience improves, operations are unified, and you future-proofed without disrupting your workflows. So with that in mind, the most important nugget of wisdom that I can give you as you're doing all of this, whether it's with Teams, whether it's contact center, whether it's with the full platform, don't just migrate out of urgency, right? Migrate with strategy. Don't treat migration as a technical project, because you risk missing the opportunity to really improve how your business communicates, how it collaborates and engages. The cloud isn't just about moving what you had, right? It is a chance to rethink how you connect, how your customers are served, and how your systems can work together instead of in silos. So as you move forward in this journey, instead of asking, hey, what did we do with the old platform? ask, what do we need to do now to support where we're going? And this is one of those areas where we've had a ton of success with the team at Amplix, Mike, in particular. So we look forward to having a lot more success with you guys. To those of you that are listening today, if what I'm saying is resonating, let's talk.
I love it. Tony, wonderful. You're the man of like these wonderful little quips too. Migrate with strategy, not just urgency. I mean, this guy, let's have a podcast or something. I want to thank all of you three for wonderful insights and certainly for all the attendees who tuned in. Hopefully you heard a lot of themes, clients. If you're like, wow, I don't know where to start. Well, guess what? We'll reach out to you and don't worry, we'll be hunting you down to talk to you. No, we want to be here to help you. So hopefully you got some nuggets out of this. I certainly did. I really want to thank Jason, Jeff, and Tony again for their time. And everyone have a great rest of your Tuesday. Thanks for spending some time with us. We'll see you.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, everybody. Take care.